Và tiếp theo chúng tôi xin được trân trọng giới thiệu một người bạn rất là tuyệt vời của Đà Nẵng với những gắn bó đặc biệt. Thưa quý vị, đất nước Ireland và thành phố Đà Nẵng của chúng ta đã có những cái hợp tác không chỉ ở tầm mức cơ quan lãnh đạo mà còn ở những cái vườn ươm doanh nghiệp, những trường đại học của Ireland có những cái hợp tác với chúng tôi. Và ngay bây giờ chúng tôi xin được trân trọng kính mời Đại sứ Ireland tại Việt Nam, bà Cáit Moran sẽ có đôi lời phát biểu. Xin được trân trọng kính mời bà.
Come on, anh Vung. Mr. Nguyen Xuan Ang, Secretary, Da Nang Municipal Party. Mr. Huyen Duc Tho, Chair of the People's Committee. Madame Dang Thi Kim Lien, Chairman of the Fatherlands Front in Da Nang. Consul General of Canada, embassy colleagues, my fellow speakers, Xin chào các bạn. You'll be relieved to hear from my bad Vietnamese that I'm going to continue in English, so apologies for not speaking better Vietnamese. I'm still working on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm absolutely delighted to be here this morning in the beautiful city of Da Nang, and in particular that the Irish Embassy is sponsoring and supporting this second surf conference. I think it's, judging from the number of people in the room, it's going to be a really exciting couple of days. I normally start when I'm speaking to introduce Ireland a little bit. So for those of you who don't know it, Ireland is a small island off the northwest of Europe. We're about 4.6 million people just in population, so a very small country in comparison to Vietnam. But let me tell you start by telling you maybe a couple of things that you don't know about Ireland. The first thing is that Ireland is actually a great place to go surfing. And when I mean surfing, I mean the actual surfing, the sport of surfing. Because we're an island, as I mentioned, in the northwest of Europe, we have a fabulous coastline, and we have some of the best waves in the world along our Atlantic coast. Unlike Da Nang, you also need to wear a wetsuit because the water is not very warm, like the beautiful water in Da Nang. The second thing I wanted to mention, which is probably more relevant to the business theme that we have here over the next couple of days, is that Ireland is one of the top 10 countries around the world in which to start a business. And today we're talking about startups, so I really wanted to emphasize that. It's something that came out of the World Bank Ease of Doing Business Index this year. We're in the top 10 in starting a business. And it's because Ireland really provides a really great ecosystem in which to open a business and in which to grow a business, be it a global multinational or a small startup. Because we're both a highly globalized economy, but we also have a hotbed of domestic entrepreneurship. So whether you're a big business, foreign business, domestic or small, you need the right ecosystem. And we've worked very, very hard in Ireland to create that ecosystem. And so I've been very impressed since I've been to Da Nang over the last 2 years to see the leadership being provided by the city leaders in promoting entrepreneurship here in Da Nang. Last year I was delighted to sign an MOU with the chair of the People's Committee, Mr. Duc, and I was delighted to commence collaboration between Ireland and the city of Da Nang. And we're really committed to working with Da Nang on business incubation and startup support. We're promoting opportunities to link Da Nang institutions with Irish agencies and institutions who have expertise in business startups. This morning I wanted to mention maybe 3 ingredients that have been important for Ireland in opening up to startups and business, and how those affect Ireland's relationship with Vietnam and Da Nang in particular. The first ingredient is in relation to high quality education. My country, Ireland, has very little by the way of natural resources, and we had to embrace the fact that our people is our greatest natural resource. So we've invested heavily in our education systems, and not just in terms of numbers, but in terms of quality. And the result of that investment is that Ireland's economy has been transformed from being a very poor economy 50 years ago to being one of the better off developed economies of the European Union. We're now happy to say that our education system is ranked in the top 10 globally by the World Economic Forum, and in particular in relation to meeting the needs of competitive economy so that our graduates are ready to work and skilled for the workforce. Our reputation for research excellence has been a major catalyst in attracting FDI, in maintaining FDI, and in linking foreign companies with domestic companies, and in supporting startups and in supporting spin-offs. Collaboration in education is a key element of Ireland's partnership with Vietnam. Last year, we launched a program called VIBE, and through that program, we provide seed fundings to support institutional links between Irish and Vietnamese universities. And I'm delighted that one of our partners in that VIBE program is here in this city, the Da Nang University of Economics. And they have partnered with the Cork Institute of Technology. And they're drawing lessons from the Irish experience of business incubation. They're promoting a culture of entrepreneurship, and they're building skill sets among young Vietnamese and their future entrepreneurs. That partnership has been enormously successful. We were delighted also to support the Da Nang Startup Runway competition last month, which attracted the participation of over 300 students from different universities. And I think it's a great indication of the level of interest and dynamism of young Vietnamese people. And you can't but be hugely impressed by these bright young minds that are going to shape the future of this country. The second ingredient I wanted to mention was innovation and creativity. Again, on the rankings, Ireland is ranked 7th out of 128 countries in the 2016 Global Innovation Index. Irish people are naturally innovative and we're naturally creative. But we also have to work hard at it. We can't rest on our laurels. So as a small island in a fast-changing globalized economy, we need to be innovative to remain competitive. So we invest in innovation. We build links between our research and our education systems and our domestic and our foreign business. A great example of that is James Galvin, an Irish businessman who is here with us today. And James will be speaking later today on big data. And I think it's a session not to be missed. He has a suite of companies here in Vietnam, and I think he will definitely be worth listening to. He's very innovative and creative. The third and last ingredient I'll speak to is a supportive business environment. So I'm in a room with a lot of business people and a lot of experts. I'm from government, I'm not an expert in business. But one thing that we do know in government in Ireland is that you need a supportive business environment. And since the 1950s, Ireland has embraced globalization. The farsightedness of that generation in the 1950s turned our back on protectionism and opened us up to trade and investment. And it's so heartening to see Vietnam on a very similar journey to what we were on. We've become a magnet for international corporations, as has Vietnam. In Ireland, we have a very strong pharmaceutical sector, very strong tech sector, a very strong financial services sector, and we have attracted a lot of investment. But it's not just about attracting FDI, it's about growing your own domestic business also. And I think the key for us has been linking what the FDI, what the multinationals have brought into the country, and linking that in through education, research and entrepreneurship with domestic homespun companies, be they startups or spin-outs. So we have a very pro-business environment in Ireland, right from our tax and regulatory systems to our labour costs and to our infrastructure. And those, I think, are big challenges for government everywhere. Startups are a lot about taking risks and being able to take risks. And in order to be able to take risks, you need stability and you need a good business environment in order to be able to sufficiently take the risks that you need to start out a new business. Funding and support are always an issue for startups. In Ireland, we have a lot of programme support, both from government through our state agency for supporting business, Enterprise Ireland, and we have many funding and investment opportunities available, both in the early stages for companies and for those in the growth stages through both public grant funding and also from private sector sources like venture capital. In Vietnam, we have an Ireland-Vietnam cooperation umbrella, and we're delighted to have support for the Da Nang Entrepreneur Support Centre, DNS, and the Rubicon Centre in Cork City in Ireland. They signed an MOU last year on startup support and business development, and we're really delighted to be able to support this event here today, organised by DNS. We really hope that DNS and Ireland will work together to facilitate and support access to one another's markets in the future. So those are just a few examples of how the startup culture in Ireland has worked. There are many more ingredients, but I wanted to share those few points with you this morning. We really want to strengthen the environment in this city for startups. We look forward to continuing our partnership with the city of Da Nang and to forging new links between the education community and the business community in Da Nang in the year ahead. I think the potential here is enormous. It's great to see a full room. It's great to see so much vibrancy and so much energy in the room. And I hope that you have an extremely successful 2 days ahead. We want to stay engaged from Ireland with you, and we will support you along that journey, and we continue to remain engaged. And we wish you every success in the days ahead. Thank you very much. Xin cảm ơn.
Xin cảm ơn bà đại sứ.